Well, they did it again. Another future feature highlight for City Skylines. Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome to episode 2 for Traffic AI. I can't believe how close this game is to release, yet so far away too. So yesterday, the devs of City Skylines dropped yet another banger on their channel, showing us more of beautiful New Dollarton, but more importantly, some new features coming to the game in its entirety. So welcome aboard. Good to see you all here as we get to see some more breathtaking views of this city and amazing views of this game. Well, good to see you all back as now we're going to be focusing on how vehicles find their way from point A to point B and how emergency vehicles, of course, can clear accidents. Of course, this game now has traffic accidents that are based on like road quality, including like wetness of the road and stuff too. So seasons actually affect traffic in this game, and that is amazing. Now, I didn't see anything in terms of snow plows, which I was really hoping to see how, like for example, the winter would affect traffic in terms of it like snowing and maybe slowing down traffic immensely or blocking major roads until they're plowed, that kind of thing. But hey, there's still a lot of information to cover in this game, and today we're going to see a good few minutes of the developers showcasing a lot of that. Now, earlier in this game, in this trailer for the game, you may have seen that postal truck that almost went up on 2 wheels. Traffic looks a little goofy still in this game, honestly. The physics of the car suspension and the shock absorbers, whatever you want to call it, it always looks a little kooky, honestly. I thought they would fix that, but that's really my only complaint from this. The cars look beautiful, and they look a little bit more modern and realistic. Also hilarious that a motorcycle takes up an entire parking spot, which is funny, but regardless, I am loving what I'm seeing here. And the roadways look great, and the vehicles look really, really good. And of course, the city, these closer views of the city and its detail are really wonderful too. I did see a lot of people mentioning, oh, they want to see something more and better, but this is a starting point, remember, for this game. So from here on out, mods, day 1 mods, day 2 mods, and later down the road will affect that beautiful appearance, but also more things to do with the weather and for traffic. So now, if the road gets blocked, yep, you can see cars flipping around and going another way. I also like to see the cars not plowing through people at the crosswalks. Like, for example, earlier when I mentioned the postal service truck, it kind of just, stopped right at the crosswalk waiting for people to go across. And it's kind of cool to see the traffic accidents showing people not just plowing into a tree or another car, but also they could just wipe out due to the rain and such like that. So, but again, a breathtaking view of the city. Everything looked great. The rain, I'm assuming, is different because it's springtime, so perhaps we could see more rain in the spring and maybe in the summer and maybe in the fall. Maybe all that lighting will all look different. I don't know, but I just like looking at this game, and I've seen this trailer or highlight about like 4 times now, and it's just really nice to look at all the things that you can interact with in the game, and of course all the beautiful organization in the city itself, and of course a little airport down there. Very nice to see too. Did see that in some of the in-game screenshots, but that beautiful highway upon highway, all the density and all the layers of infrastructure. Something I really wanted to see, as well as some other like traffic lines, like for example no passing zones. Not sure how that'll affect AI traffic, but we're going to go into a little bit more detail now and talk in a little bit more detail about all things City Skylines. So don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, become a member today. Let's see what the devs have to say.
People are the lifeblood of your city. As they move through it, they set the city's pulse, not in the cold rhythms of code, but with the variability and pace of a real city. So you should expect the same order and chaos that emerges when countless individual decisions are made all at once. It's a level of vibrant realism you've never seen before, and it's powered by the deep simulation of traffic AI. How people move from A to B in your city is called pathfinding. Previously, pathfinding meant choosing the shortest route by distance, but ignoring factors like travel time and traffic congestion was less than ideal. Pathfinding has changed. In City Skylines 2, 4 main factors influence how people move through your city. These factors are called pathfinding costs. People weigh up these costs to decide where to go and how to get there. The path with the lowest cost is the path they choose. But how people weigh up these costs is very different. To help you understand, let's walk through the 4 pathfinding costs. Time is usually the most important pathfinding cost. Everyone will pick their quickest route to their destination if they can. Comfort is another pathfinding cost. Who doesn't want a smooth journey? Wouldn't you avoid tricky intersections if you could? The availability, convenience, and cost of parking will now impact where people choose to go and how to get there. Easy parking is actually the deciding factor for some people when choosing where to socialize and spend their money. That's another pathfinding cost: money. Fuel, parking, and public transport tickets can seriously add up. So it's a factor in where people choose to go and how they get there. The final factor influencing pathfinding is behavior, or how likely people are to engage in risky maneuvers on the road. U-turns, lane hopping, and speeding can reduce travel times, lower fuel consumption, and avoid some of the inconvenient aspects of travel. To keep pathfinding costs low, people will reroute if something happens on their journey. For example, if they get caught behind a traffic accident that takes too long to clear, they'll find another way to get where they're going. Hang on. Traffic accidents? Afraid so. Drivers can lose control and crash their vehicles into traffic and buildings. Yikes. You see, things like wet roads, extreme weather events, and the time of day can increase the risk of a collision. But it's actually poor road conditions that should keep you awake at night. Want to reduce the risk of serious mishaps? Send your road maintenance crew out ASAP. Traffic AI has improved pathfinding so much that you can now grow a larger population. But remember, a big population brings opportunities and challenges. 2 info views can help you plan and react when life takes a left turn. Traffic Info View takes the guesswork out of traffic management. It delivers a real-time overview of how much traffic is on your road network and traffic, so you can resolve problems quickly. Deep simulation transforms the movement of people, goods, and services through your city into the pulsing reality of a living, breathing city. But how people choose their path? That is always a response to the world around them. A world of your creation.
Well, some major things to walk away from relating to traffic AI now from this feature highlight, including how traffic calculates its distance and cost and complexity of the route too. Found that to be very, very fascinating. And of course, road conditions, accidents, and other things kind of tied into the whole calculation as well. Now also it looks like there's a lot more vehicles on the road too, but of course mods will further increase that as well, and we'll see how well City Skylines can handle that upon its launch. And of course maybe there'll be sliders for traffic density, so that way machines of different types can process more vehicles or less to make the simulation go a little more smoothly. There's that mail truck again. Look at that suspension, man. That guy must have pulled the e-brake on the turn there. That's crazy. But again, going back to what I was saying before, I do like how at least the vehicles look a little bit more realistic. However, I wish their physics were too. But going back to what the game is trying to showcase here, or what they want us to look at for traffic AI, at least trying to calculate some sort of semblance of logic. And, of course, the developers posting a comment that said, please use all lanes in their video. Yeah, it looks like at least AI in the traffic sense is a little more intelligent. Now I just hope we don't get 14 cars in the right turn lane, like the far right turn lane, and then, of course, like 1 car in the middle lane, that kind of thing. But hey, it's cool to see traffic moving slowly and how traffic jams are represented. Rather than just being kind of completely stopped, it looks like traffic can move slowly, so that looks like an improvement too. And the integration of parking lots and how it'll kind of showcase density in a certain area, how many people are kind of at one area, and then you'll see where a lot of the traffic is coming from, because of course if you have a lot of parking lots in point A and they're all filled, you know people are going from A to wherever B may be, and you might be able to see what major highway will be affected that way. But again, I love the look of the city and the game up close. I'm loving to see all the people kind of just moseying around the parks and all the different crosswalks. So it looks like we can finally have a game that has a lot more density and roundabouts. And it's just great to like look at this. I've seen this trailer like 4 or 5 times, and it's just really cool to see the AI smart enough to take all these different routes and all the roads that you can build. Again, this is not a modded city, so everything here is like day one. Like this is just like point 1.0, and it's fantastic. I don't know what to say about it just being a good starting point for a game that at least has some technology that has been like almost 10 years in the making. Look at that city. I love that. That building over on the left side, I wonder what that is. Looked to be like some sort of a monument. That's another thing I'd like to see in the game too, is perhaps some of the larger monuments creating more traffic. Like for example, a stadium or an expo center. We do kind of see like a little track and field area on the right side, and that might be a university or something tied to a school, but I want to see major events also creating traffic. Like for example, if you hold a World's Fair at an expo, how is that going to affect the busing systems and the traffic systems, and also the like things like taxis and pedestrian systems too? It'd be interesting to see if we had visual feedback on how maybe dense and frequent that people are walking from point A to point B. And another hostage situation here, I think, is the biking. That doesn't look like there are any bikes at all, and that it might be a later DLC, and that's unfortunate, because I think, really, honestly, traffic and pedestrians and bikes should all be immediately day one integrated into a major city, because, of course, people might be able to walk to somewhere where they've stored their bike, then bike to a bus stop, put that bike somewhere on the bus in order to transport it to another location, and then continue on with their route, expanding how far they can get just basically on foot or without a car, which is interesting. But yeah, again, going back to the looks of the city, I just love it. Can't wait to get my hands on this one. Can't wait to see how the systems work. And of course, these always look more juicy than they are, and they certainly used a lot of great language to describe and paint a picture of how the traffic will work. But we have to see how it's going to function in situations of like 4-way intersection, 3-way intersection, roundabout, different types of turn lanes, and what things we're going to have to do to work around the limited AI. Regardless of how much they work on the AI, the AI is only so smart, and it'll only do so much in order to try to get to its route before it gets a little, silly. But hey, all that, pessimism behind us, I think we're going to have a great, fantastic addition to the systems related to both city services and also, like for example, the traffic. Now they showed garbage trucks, buses, police cars, and of course trams and maybe even trains too will affect traffic. Like if you have an area that a lot of trains are coming into, the constant trains coming through an area and blocking a road could also affect traffic. And not always you want to avoid doing that, because it's more realistic to build the level crossing for a railroad, because of course it's cheaper, and cities will do that because they want to save money. So obviously the best way would be to make a bridge over it or a tunnel under it. Well, in most cases they don't often do that because money. But the city is so good to look at. I'm still seeing little random squares too of grass, and I wish there were easier ways to fill some of that in, the little triangles with plazas and things like that. I think that would also be a great way to integrate more parking too. Like for example, if you had a little plaza area, you could make maybe a side street to park on there, and that could also be another street side parking opportunity with meters, instead of having to make everything a above or below or a street level parking zone. I love seeing all the rain and things like that too. And look at that flipped over car on the sidewalk. Boy, oh boy. I wonder if we'll see fires and things like that too, and the fire department actually putting those out. But I'm glad that we actually see it and that they're putting the effort in. But I need to see winter. I want to see how that actually affects things. And maybe it'll just be like how it is with the rain. And maybe the city is a little bit more tropical, where we can set the climate to where it's not going to snow as much, but maybe it'll rain a lot more. And so that rain will constantly create wetness on the roads, and that could cost you a lot of money and be a little bit of a problem for all the maintenance that you can do in your city. But regardless, I'm happy to see more footage from City Skylines, and it is great because pretty much every what is it, Monday and Thursday, these developers are going to drop more footage like this, and this is the right way to do it. There is so much to cover for this game. I thought we would be getting one major Paradox event where they would just kind of cover everything, and honestly, if they cover this for 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, that's not enough time. I think they should do a small event where they do talk for about maybe 3 hours in great detail, showcasing on-scene footage like this in that kind of a format, talking in more detail about different types of features, but also these little 4-minute snippets are perfect to show you exactly how things are going to look and feel and what they're going for in City Skylines 2. Alright, that's it for now. Thank you very much for subscribing. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell, smash that like button, show your love for Raptoria, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks again for watching. Goodbye.